The 29-year-old, whose name is being withheld by the Sun, said in an exclusive statement that he is in direct contact with the Indiana State Police and is helping in any way that he can with their investigation. The former fashion model and father of two is the patrol officer for the police department in Alaska. In his brief statement, he said he's been directed not to make any comments regarding this case by his superiors. The identity of the male model is known by police, and they say he's not considered a person of interest in this case. His images were reportedly used without his knowledge or consent. However, the model was aware that his images had previously been the product of catfishing. In a post uploaded to Instagram 111 weeks ago, he wrote, "Public service announcement. If you think you've added me on Facebook, you don't. I don't accept people I don't know. Second, I'm not on any dating sites, Snapchat, Kik, or anything social media services besides Twitter and Instagram. If you think you've been talking to me through DMs, you aren't. You are talking to a fake. Thanks." And then in an earlier post shared in March 2018, he wrote, "Lately, I've been receiving hundreds of DMs asking if I'm talking to people on Tinder, Badoo, Snapchat, Facebook, and my answer is simply no. At this point, if you get catfished, it's probably your fault. Do some research, be smart. I'm not on any dating websites." The actual creator of the account has been identified as Keegan Anthony Klein, a 27-year-old who created the catfishing account. He is currently in police custody and is being charged with 30 felonies. The charges stem from a search of his Peru, Indiana home on February 25th, 2017. So he admitted to a bunch of stuff. And then the last part, which I thought was very interesting, is that it says investigators also found a discussion of sharing links with child stuff files on Dropbox with another party who is not identified in court documents. According to online court records, Klein is back in court for a pretrial conference December 16th. Online jail records list him as currently being in custody in Miami County. Anyone who's had any contact with the Anthony_Shots profile or any info on this case is asked to send tips to this email, Abby and Libby tip at cacoshrf.com. cacoshrf.com. Okay, this person put, "Not sure this matters, but JBC used to live in Peru until he was evicted by his father in 2020. It's where he was drunk driving with the 4 boys. That's James Brian Chadwell." And then it says that KAK's address is on Canal Street, not Bicycle Bridge Road. And then it says, the KAK affidavit states that the new lead investigator was assigned to his case on April 24th, 2020, and that the forensic examination of the devices, which were seized in 2017, was delivered to the investigator on June 12th, 2020. Investigators then met with prosecutors the week after the forensic examination was delivered. Makes me wonder if there were some issues with retrieving the information on the devices. It mentions that many of the devices were secured by PIN codes, including the iPhone 4, on which the majority of the chat log and abuse images were found. The file paths of all the files and chat logs listed in the affidavit also begin with the Cellbrite, and Cellbrite is an Israeli company that specializes in providing software to law enforcement agencies for use in digital forensics, and notably for hacking into iPhones. This article from 2020 states that ISP had spent around $500K on software from Cellbrite and other digital forensic companies since 2015. I'm curious about when ISP got access to these specific tools used for this case and how that impacted the investigation into KAK. So that's pretty interesting. And then this person said, okay, something I discovered today while looking at James Brian Chadwell's thread earlier is that KAK is wearing a UAW shirt in his mugshot, indicating ties to union work, construction, and James Brian Chadwell is also employed in construction type work. It could be that they've crossed paths while Chadwell was working in KAK's area. Anyone else think about possible connections between James Brian Chadwell and KAK? So that'd be interesting. If you guys think there's any connection there, drop it in the link below. Please comment. And then it says, just based on the affidavit, I think they saw some communications on Libby's phone from this guy. I think law enforcement tried to obtain IP addresses from everyone Libby spoke to on Snapchat, Instagram, and whatever apps she used. And I think that's how they got a subpoena, a search warrant for the Peru address so quickly. They may have asked him where he was on the dates of the murder, and if the plane tickets he showed he was in Las Vegas or California, as mentioned in the affidavit. They may have tentatively ruled him out for the murder at that time based on that. But once the feds see the CSAM, they do not just let cases go. They investigate and prosecute, even if not directly related to the original crime. Just my opinion, though. And then it says, if law enforcement did recover communications from Libby's phone with KAK, that would kind of explain the hint they gave back in February of 2017. I guess, but I don't know about that. And then, if KAK is Bridge Guy, I think it can be assumed that there isn't DNA evidence in this case. If there was, there likely wouldn't be this public appeal for info. That or KAK is only associated with Bridge Guy and not actually him. That's a good possibility right there, in my opinion. No, I don't either. Something else that stands out for me is KAK has admitted to contacting underage girls on Instagram and then using Snapchat. One of his profiles was Klein Photography. Libby was an incredible photographer and had beautiful photos posted on Instagram. The two photos sent by SC shortly before the murders, especially the one of only the bridge, had outstanding appeal in an artistic way. This has me wondering if Libby thought she had something going with a wealthy, attractive young man, as they both shared a keen interest in photography. This is what concerns me most. On February 25th, 2017, at approximately 7:30 p.m., Keegan's polygraph was concluded and he was transported back to his residence. The digital forensic examination report shows approximately 9:19 p.m. the user of the iPhone 5C started to uninstall and delete apps from the phone. At approximately 9:19 p.m. the user uninstalled and deleted Snapchat. At approximately 10:14 p.m. the user uninstalled and deleted Instagram from the phone. The evidence contained in these applications were destroyed when the user deleted them from the device before turning it in to law enforcement. Why? He had just handed over multiple devices with enough damning information to delete Snapchat less than 2 hours after returning from his poly. I think he knew where the phone was during the search. Why hold this phone back and delete those two apps? I noticed something on page 32 of AA. Emily discusses having sex with Keegan and his father at the same time. First, ew. Second, it's disturbing, given we have wondered how both girls could have been overpowered, and that we have an old bridge guy and a new bridge guy. Was this a way to groom a teen to not being surprised to eventually meet up with an older man, not a cute teen boy?